The bubble around second-hand cars has finally broken. $28,960 in 2023 to $25,128 in May 2025. Prices are rapidly declining. Here's the twist, however. Some autos are soaring in value while the majority are plummeting. Based on actual data, resale statistics, and market demand, we're delving into 13 cars that are increasing in value while the others are falling. Keep reading, because I'll also give you wise investing advice on how to preserve the worth of your car before the next price change occurs. The Toyota Tacoma comes in at number 13 on our list. Compared to most trucks, the Toyota Tacoma retains its value better. According to Kelley Blue Book data, it consistently has the highest resale value. After 5 years, it retained more than 64.1% of its value in 2023. That is higher than the 44.6% industry average. However, trust is more important than figures on paper. Owners of Tacoma cars are aware that they may easily go over 200,000 miles. Customers queue up for that type of dependability, particularly in the second-hand market. With Mike Neal, the 2008 model even achieved 1.6 million kilometers. This demonstrates that these cars are durable and never break down. This is when things start to get interesting. Unicorns include models like as the TRD Pro and TRD Off-Road. The 2016 TRD Pro is still available for around $33,990 after years of off-road excursions. Another thing that most people overlook is how little the Tacoma has changed over time. Behind the wheel, the feel and design are essentially the same. Owners of older models feel as like they are sitting on an appreciation thanks to this, which maintains them looking new asset. A lot may be said about this bad boy, but let's move on to another Toyota that sells well. 12. Toyota 4Runner. The 4Runner is the SUV that never ages or loses value. If the Tacoma is the king of truck value retention, it consistently ranks on the podium for greatest resale value, maintaining over 60% after 5 years, according to Kelley Blue Book. That's uncommon, even for SUVs. However, why does the 4Runner manage to achieve this? Its old-school tenacity is what matters most. Off-road enthusiasts know that this SUV, one of the few body-on-frame models still in existence, can tackle tracks that most crossovers wouldn't dare to explore. Used 4Runner is thus a popular property, particularly in areas where mud, rocks, and snow are commonplace. Furthermore, Toyota hasn't made many changes to the formula. Under the hood, the 4-liter V6 engine has been in use for many years. Additionally, enthusiasts see it as invincible, despite detractors saying it feels obsolete. Its long-term dependability wins hearts even if it may not win drag races. Families also adore it, so don't assume it's only an off-road enthusiast's pet. It has room, dependability, and the last forever seal of approval. And when it comes to cars that never die, 11. Honda CR-V. For many years, the Honda CR-V has been a popular SUV in America. It was the top-selling SUV in the nation from 2017 and 2019. Furthermore, that desire has not decreased. A 2020 CR-V sells about 12% faster than the majority of SUVs on the second-hand market. People are aware that it endures. They are aware of its worth. Depreciation also remains modest. Even now, a 2019 CR-V EX that sold for around $29,000 is worth more than $23,000. After 5 years, it represents a decrease of less than 35%. SUVs such as the Ford Escape, for instance, lose almost half of their value in the same period. The engine is what makes the CR-V so durable. It has had a 1.5-liter turbocharged engine since 2017, with 28 miles per gallon in the city. It's also fuel efficient, 34 on the highway too. Because they know the turbo versions are worth the additional money, many purchasers will pay more for them. Another factor contributing to the CR-V's popularity is its safety. Since 2017, Honda Sensing, a crash avoidance safety technology, has been standard on all models. Additionally, the EIHS awarded it a Top Safety Choice Plus, indicating that it is among the safest in its class. A car maintains its worth when it keeps you safe. Making the correct decision is much simpler when you are aware of the facts. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if this information has been useful to you so far. For further car insights, let's go on. Honda Civic number 10. Generally speaking, popularity does not necessarily equate to quality. Consider fast food. The most well-liked food is often not the highest quality. However, we must give credit where credit is due when it comes to the Honda Civic. The Civic excels at both. It has been a sales champion and a representation of unwavering dependability, and for that same reason, its value keeps rising. The Civics from 2016 to 2021, particularly the 60 and X trims, are more valuable than the majority of cars in their class. Because they have 30% less engine claims than the turbo variants, mechanics also like them. It's not limited to sedans either. The value of hatchbacks, such as the Sport Touring model from 2017 to 2021, is increasing. Despite having 50,000 miles on them, some are selling for almost their original price. The excitement around the Type R has undoubtedly helped increase demand for hatchbacks. The 10th gen is still coveted by enthusiasts, who refer to it as the Civic sweet spot. But let's change course, from efficiency and economy to luxury and renowned off-road capability. 9. Toyota Land Cruiser. One of the few cars whose second-hand costs might still surprise you is the Toyota Land Cruiser. For instance, a 2016 Land Cruiser still fetches more than $46,090 now. After almost 10 years of traveling, that is. This is because consumers are aware of the dependability that would enable them to go over mountains, deserts, and return home without any problems. Its 5.7-liter V8 is undoubtedly a gas guzzler, but it's also impervious. Many Land Cruisers easily reach the 500,000-mile milestone. They are thus a good choice for those seeking a car that outlasts competitors and trends. Additionally, Toyota no longer sells the Land Cruiser in the United States. Prices have increased considerably further after 2021. People are prepared to pay premium cash for pristine examples since there are fewer models available. And how can we overlook the king of American trucks when we're discussing cars that have made a name for themselves on toughness? 8th, Ford has sold more than 41 million F-150 cars since 1948. Additionally, more than 50,000 people were homeless in 2023 alone. It was the best-selling car in America for 42 years in a row. Only in 2024 would the Toyota RAV4 eventually overtake it. Despite this, the F-50 continues to rule the second-hand market. Here's why that affects your pocketbook. The market for used F-50s rises in tandem with Ford's increased sales. People are prepared to pay for it, they want it, and they trust it. The resale value remains high year after year because of this. Depending on condition and usage, a 2020 F-50 Lariat may still fetch between $16,995 and $65,990. Better still if it has a 5-liter V8 or 3.5-liter EcoBoost engine. However, Ford isn't the only car making waves in the second-hand market. Ram 1500 number 7. We Americans, let's face it, adore trucks. The number of times I've been driving down the highway and a Ram 1500 has pulled up behind me looking like it owns the whole road is too many to count. And what do you know, it kinda does. It has been stealing the show from 2019 to 2023 thanks to an interior that makes other high-end SUVs seem cheap. You'll forget you're in a truck thanks to the smooth ride and 12-inch touchscreen that seems like a tablet. This is where things improve. Ram 1500s are as valuable as gold. The TRX and Rebel trims are quite popular. Compared to the average Ram, Rebels retain 35% more value. Despite having miles on it, the TRX is still selling for $10,000 more than it should. Choose the Longhorn or restricted trims if you want insider information. In 3 years, they seldom lose 22% of their value. Additionally, bidders are vying for one with the round box and split tailgate, which will increase the price by $3,500 and speed up the sale by 14 days. And from one unstoppable legend to another off-road superstar. The 6th is the Lexus GX460. What's humorous? Do you? In 2022, Lexus offered the GX460 a minor update which increased demand for the car rather than making it seem antiquated. Models from 2014 to 2019 had price increases of around. Additionally, if you locate one with KDSS suspension, it may move 45 days quicker than a typical SUV. Off-road enthusiasts like the GX, these items have humiliated built-up Jeeps more than half the time on trail runs. The GXOR community, who are converting them into overlanders, thus pay more for pristine, unaltered copies. Less than 0.3% have engine problems after 150,000 miles. Additionally, if you maintain the essentials, you should have no trouble traveling 250,000 miles, particularly if you reside in arid states like Arizona or Nevada. The 2016-2019 premium trim is, in my opinion, the sweet spot if you're purchasing. Avoid the years 2010 to 2013, yet it has that amazing Mark Levinson sound. Versions that have air suspension. Okay, enough about V8, let's move on. The following one will change the way you think about hybrids. 5th, the Toyota Prius. The Prius is all about conserving petrol, as you may have assumed. However, many individuals are surprised by how valuable these items are. After 5 years, a Prius typically retains around 62% of its value. That is much superior than the majority of cars, particularly sedans. Due to Priuses being snatched up by Uber and Lyft drivers, The used market is seeing a scarcity, which has contributed significantly to this value spike. 2019 and later models, particularly those with Apple CarPlay, sell 17 days quicker than their predecessors. The 2016-2022 Prius remains, in my opinion, the sweet spot. Its combined mileage of 52 miles per gallon is outstanding, beating a lot of more recent electric cars in terms of actual fuel savings. A $5,000 premium is already being charged for the 2022 final edition. Battery life is still impressive. Even after 50,000 miles, almost 94% of 2015 Priuses are still powered by their original batteries. Additionally, since 2015, replacement prices have decreased by 62%, making upkeep much more affordable. 4. To be honest, not many people anticipated the Mazda CX-5. However, in terms of value retention, the Mazda CX-5 has emerged as one of the hidden winners. In fact, clean 2021 touring cars are selling for $22,000 as of mid-2024. In contrast, a 2025 model would cost $29,236. In this section, it is almost unheard of. In 5 years, it is a mere 25% depreciation. Compared to a Ford Escape, which decreases by at least 54% in the same period, that is much superior. The CX-5 is what you need if you want something that protects your money. The most popular variants are the 2019 and later 2.5 turbo cars, which often fetch a $4,000 price increase over the standard cars. People like the premium vibe as much as the increased kick beneath the hood. Models with Napa leather seats and trademark detailing are seldom kept on the lot for very long. Compared to basic models, they sell 22 days quicker. This is when things start to get interesting. With regular maintenance, the Skyactiv engines are reaching 250,000 miles, and the CX-5 has seen fewer recalls since 2017 than even the Honda CR-V. But there's only one brand that reigns supreme if you want resale muscle, loyalty, and mythology all at once. Subaru Outback. You are familiar with the Subaru Outback if you have ever driven through mountain communities. It's ubiquitous, not simply well-liked. They are purchased and retained by people. Because of this, the Outback is more valuable than the majority of SUVs. After 5 years, they often lose almost 40% of their value, which is remarkable for a car in their class. Some models are even more attractive. The ones that purchasers are now looking for are the 2.4-liter turbo Outbacks, which were introduced in People are prepared to pay more for them since they provide greater power without sacrificing fuel efficiency. Subaru loyalty is one thing that hasn't altered. Subaru claims that around 97% of Outbacks sold in the previous 10 years are still in use. Additionally, second-hand Outbacks in mountainous areas like Colorado and Utah are sometimes more expensive than comparable models in other regions of the nation. Everyone wants one, sometimes by as much as $2,000 to $3,000. Speaking of rulers, this next SUV surprised everyone by outdoing the major luxury brands. Second place. Kia Telluride. You've undoubtedly heard of the Kia Telluride if you've recently gone car shopping. These items are very valuable. When it comes to resale, the Telluride is really among the finest in its class. The Telluride loses around 26% of its value after 3 years, which is better than many luxury SUVs, according to reliable statistics. Although it uses the same base as the Hyundai Palisade, the Telluride attracts more customers. On used car lots, it often sells more quickly, particularly in trims like the Nightfall Edition, which adds a bit more curb appeal. Tellurides were scarce in dealer stock during the 2021 and 2022 model years, and many purchasers had to pay sticker price just to get one. But remember, the lack of chips and the epidemic drove that type of market. Just know that things are beginning to calm down now. The 2024 model includes some modifications, and as more new ones are introduced, used prices may somewhat decline. Telluride's pricing may begin to level out shortly. As of right now, however, it remains one of the best investments if you're looking for a spacious, dependable SUV that maintains its value. However, none of them have taken over the market as effectively as the market leader. First up, the Toyota RAV4 is live evidence that, like the CR-V, popularity may sometimes translate into quality. The popularity of this car among Americans has propelled it to the top, surpassing even the powerful Ford F-150 to become the country's best-selling car. Indeed, Toyota sold more than $100,000 in 2023. The United States alone has 475,000 RAV4s. It is thus superior than almost all other SUVs on the road. However, what about values that have been used? Here is what the actual data indicates. Compared to the gas-only cars, the RAV4 hybrid models retain their value better. The RAV4 hybrid retains over 75% of its value after 3 years, which is much better than the typical SUV's 60% retention rate. This implies that you would eventually lose less money if you purchased one fresh. These are even more unique if you're considering their RAV4 Prime plug-in hybrid. Even with miles on them, they are difficult to locate and often sell for close to their original retail price. Prices for all used cars, including the RAV4, increased as a result of the shortages in 2021 and 2022. However, prices have begun to level out a little today. Primes and hybrids continue to be in demand. However, unlike when shortages were at their worst, they are no longer retailing hundreds of dollars over MSRP. In summary, if you possess a RAV4, take good care of it, since it will pay you a lot when you decide to trade or sell it in the future. Here's your extra piece of advice. Selecting the correct brand is, in my opinion, the first step towards investing in a smart car for anybody considering to buy one. Reliability and long-term value retention are hallmarks of well-known brands like Toyota, Honda, and Lexus. Over time, these cars are more likely to maintain their value. Regular maintenance is essential for those of you who want to maintain your current cars in excellent condition. Your car's worth will be preserved for many years to come with easy maintenance like tire care, oil changes, and fixing minor problems before they become major ones. While many brands aren't as fortunate, the RAV4 is at the top of the list.